In a state the size of Florida, the ministry needs of churches in various regions can differ widely, so it helps to have experienced regional leadership that can come alongside to help develop ideas and strategies best suited to each mission field.
Now, the Suwanee Baptist Association encompasses Suwanee and Hamilton County, north central Florida, basically from Branford to the Georgia border. A lot of rural churches that are spread out all over the place. A lot of churches that are struggling to find an effective ministry mode. The economy in north central Florida is not very strong. A lot of the young people are moving and leaving and moving to the city, so that's caused suffering in our churches. And so I told our churches, if you will help do this, every kid's got a family attached to it, so if you want to grow churches, come out here and let's reach some kids. And so we decided to do the first Kicking Bear Florida.
15 churches committed to work together and invited professional bow hunter Ray Howell to bring his Kicking Bear ministry event to Skeeter Ranch in Jasper, Florida.
We started out first thing in the morning as we got out in these fields, and over this direction we had the Wild Turkey Federation did a pellet gun shoot. And out here we had a speed baseball throwing with a radar gun. And we had a football obstacle course, and then we had a hatchet throwing station. Further out in that fields, we set up a huge archery range with big round bales and 3D archery targets. And so for a couple of hours, these kids were out shooting bows and arrows, many of which had never had a bow and arrow in their hands before, so they were excited.
It's the best day ever!
Well, our church was involved with Kicking Bear by leading the recreational efforts. Kicking Bear offered us an opportunity to not only minister to our own kids, but to encourage our families to go out and invite their friends.
It was a day-long event designed to get kids off the couch and off the video games and introduce them to the outdoors, and in the process, share Christ with them.
And we had a crew that had cooked a great hot meal for the kids. After lunch, we brought them down over here to an amphitheater that was set up. And then Ray Howell spoke and shared his testimony about how he'd been a kid who was raised without men in his life and how much trouble he got into.
And I could see on their faces that they connected with what Ray was saying, because for the first time these kids are meeting someone who was so honest and so open about the choices he made and what that led him to.
When we did the altar call at the end of Kicking Bear, when we shared the gospel with the kids, we had something around 40 kids who stood up and came down, and that kind of got the attention of our churches that were participating and the pastors, because now they see the product of this long effort. And then to see our pastors, to see a couple of Live Oak policemen sitting down with little groups of kids, sharing Christ. That's what it was all about.
I've worked at both smaller churches and now a larger growing church. And along each step I have found that as an association, as we come together, we truly we're better together. We're able to do more for the kingdom of God.
We are absolutely better together. God didn't create us to be Lone Rangers. He gave us relationships, He gave us churches, He's given us associations and a convention that if we'll tie into, we can accomplish more for the kingdom than any one of us could ever accomplish on our own.